I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Hey, y'all, this is Ryan Monceaux, and this is the Talkin Bout Them Cougars podcast from GoCoogs.com. I'm the publisher of GoCoogs.com and CougFans.com. I've been doing this about 25 years in one way or the other. And, I think I've written about 5,000 pieces of content about the University of Houston. This guy is Galen Robinson, the godfather. One of the originals, the guy that got it started here 10 years ago this week when he committed to U of H over TCU. He got the ball rolling. One of the best looking former players the University of Houston has ever had. He's a serious businessman and he's a super genius. Galen Robinson, one of the best of all time. And that's Brad. So we're getting started, getting this underway. Thank you guys for being here. And we're going to bring him in right now. Kingston Flemings.
Kingston, my boy on the game already. Sheesh.
That's right. Welcome,
Kingston,
welcome.
You know Galen. This is Brad Towns. I'm Ryan with GoCoogs. We appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I want to get into your situation. When did you make the final decision to come to U of H?
Yeah, I was just thinking it over. I'd say like 2 weeks before I committed, I made like my final decision. Like Houston was the place I wanted to be. So that's when I would say.
Nice.
When you made that decision, were you alone? Were you with family? You Coach Cody? What was that like?
Well, I kind of came to the decision by myself in my head. I mean, obviously I talked to my parents and everything like that. I told them I wanted to go to Houston. Like then they told me. I ended up telling both coaches, I think, maybe last Monday. I think I committed on Thursday. I told them like last Monday. So yeah, just thinking over things, stuff, everything like that.
When you made that phone call to U of H, who did you call? Who was the first person you talked to? And how did it go?
I called Baby Sam first. I told him, yeah, he ran out his house, and he said, "Have I told Sam already?" And I said no, so I ended up calling him. He said he's ready. I told him I was ready to go to Houston. He said that, yeah. Called Texas Tech before them, so yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Okay.
Man, that's crazy. I remember after I signed, I called Coach Sampson. He was like, "What's up, Cougar?" I'll never forget it. But Kingston, so I got a question for you, a couple actually. So what were some of the things you were looking for in regards to like a coaching staff?
I'll say in a staff that just believes in me. Like for me, I never really played on an EYBL team, stuff like that. So I kind of played on an independent team, and I feel like people believe in me from the very beginning. Houston and Tech, the first time they saw me, they believed in me. So that's why they were my final two schools. And I think just Coach Sam, the way he's just like developed point guards. I mean, Jamal Shedd was at a little school Manor, developed him into you yourself, developed you. And like for him to develop point guard like that, I mean, just to have a pedigree like that, I feel like I go in there, just work my hardest, he can develop me too.
So obviously you were getting recruited heavily by a lot of schools. So it's like, what was the tipping point where you're like Houston is in the lead? If there's any definitive moment that you can chalk it up to?
I mean, I'd say For me, like one thing I love to do is I love to win. Or I hate to lose. Really,
Mm.
that's the thing. And I mean, and that's what Houston is. Everywhere they've gone, they've won. So I feel like going to a place where I can play against the best and with the best. I mean, every single day in practice is gonna be a dogfight. If I don't bring my best, I'm gonna get killed. So I feel like going to a school like that, where I get tested every single day, just gonna make me better as a player.
How many
Will it?
practices have you? How many
Will it?
practices have you been to at U of H, and what you've
I've been
seen in those?
I've been to 2 real practices. Like I've been to like a
Okay.
walkthrough, but 2 real practices.
What did you
Mm.
see in those practices that told you, wow, this is where I need to be?
Man, if you go to a practice and you look at it, you might think like that Houston's offense isn't great because their defense is that good. Like going into practice, like it's like I wouldn't say it's sloppy, but everyone's like working so hard. Like every single
Yeah,
play
yeah.
matters so much. So like when they get into a game and they're playing, like when they play Texas A&M, everything's going through so smooth. It's just because when they're practicing against each other, the 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 defense is just that high caliber that it makes the offense look a little worse than it actually is. So just like everyone's competing for every board, like no board's touching the ground. If the ball's on the ground, they're diving on it. Everyone's hype. All the coaches are hype. Like it's a great practice to be a part of.
Let's pull
Man.
it back a little bit. When did you realize that you were good enough to play high D1 basketball?
Let's see. I mean, I feel like as a player, you always gotta believe in yourself for sure. And I feel like just for if a coaching staff believes in me, and I mean they've seen a ton of players go through it, they believe in me. I mean, why shouldn't I believe in myself? So I feel like just off that, I feel like I can compete.
Okay.
Mm.
And when did you meet Kelvin, Kellen, and those guys? When did they start evaluating you?
When was it first? I don't remember the exact day they offered me.
Okay.
But I know they were there from like beginning. Like I think sophomore year, like sophomore summer is when I kind of started blowing up more. I mean, like you have like the schools like in my hometown that offered me like freshman year and stuff like that. But sophomore year, like I think my first 2 was Tech and Houston. Like since then, every single game I'm at, one of the coaches is there from one of those schools. So even after the games, they're telling me like wasn't locked in on this, was locked in on this. Got to play better defense here. Like I'm not
Mm.
rebounding. Like for instance, this summer. We started out a little rough. I think we had some injuries on our AU team, and coaches were telling me like they said I wasn't rebounding enough. So I think I started the season. I mean, I think averaging like 6 rebounds. Ended it averaging like 10 rebounds a game. Just rebounding to be able to push. So them just telling me little things after every single game that means a lot.
Were all coaches kind of trying to help you get better, or were some just kind of kissing your ass, just trying to hope you'd go that way? What was that like?
I never that. I mean, I feel like they were honest from the very beginning. I feel like Coach Quanis came up to me and said,
So you only talk. I'm talking like I think he was asking like other schools, like what other schools like
Well,
trying to kiss your
everybody.
ass. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
No,
okay.
I know U of H was not trying to
Yeah,
kiss your
Oh,
ass.
I
for
was about
sure.
to say, okay, yeah.
I know
So I
that.
mean, yeah, y'all know Houston coaches, but I'd say other schools. I mean, like for me, one of the things I don't like is say if I have a bad game, people come up to me like, "You're good, you had
Good
a
game.
good game." I don't really like that because like I know how I played, and I feel like
Yeah.
I want you to tell me how I played. So some of the schools are like, "Yeah, you look great today," just like trying to like sugarcoat everything, just maybe think that helps them in some cases, but I feel like it's the exact opposite. So I feel like Houston being on me and being even the games I had, even the games I felt like I was really really good. There was only something I did wrong. So them telling me that something I did wrong, that means a lot.
That's a great
Yeah.
point, Kingston. Galen, you were 0 of 2 from 3 today,
Yeah.
and that was really disappointing to me. You had 6 assists. You were 5 of
No
6
turnovers.
inside the arc. No
And I
turnovers, a steal, 3 rebounds.
I had 2 buckets taken away from me.
What do you mean?
Utterly. Like, because one of them, it was an illegal screen. Then the other one was goaltended. It was going in, and our big just hit it in. So it's just like, damn, man. Let this shit just go in the fucking basket, big dog.
Wow.
Keep stealing
So
your
You know what I'm
points, man.
saying?
Again, man.
blaming others.
I'm just
That's not
pointing
the
out
U
the
of H
truth.
way.
I'm just pointing out the truth, Ryan. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Okay.
what it is.
All right.
Well, talking about,
Kingston.
hold on. It's funny he mentioned Q because
Mhm.
I ran into Coach Q's brother. His name is Josh White. He was like an All-American at North Texas, and he used to be a grad assistant, and he practiced with us. And he was just talking about how we caught him in the airport yesterday, and he was just like, people don't even know like the demand and how hard it is to play for Coach Sampson, like the intensity and how much you got to bring it every day, and how like it naturally elevates you. And he was just like, man, I was in better shape playing as a fucking grad assistant than I was playing like in college and professionally. Like it's that big of a deal. Like it's that high level.
Can we go back to him now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I just wanted to share
All
that since you mentioned Q. You know what I'm saying? He mentioned Q.
Yes,
Yeah. Kingston, who are you closest to in the program? Who do you have the most contact with?
I say Baby Sam for sure. I feel like he was my recruiter from the very beginning. I'd say like Coach Quaddis came up to me and said like even before he was recruiting other guys, but once they keyed in on me, it was everyone. So Coach Quaddis started talking to me more. So I'd say my main recruiter was Baby Sam.
Okay. If you had to tell U of H fans, there's one thing you need to know about me, what is that?
I'd say I just gonna go into every single game and compete. I mean, whatever coaches are gonna need me to do, I'm gonna do that day. Like if they need me to score, I'm gonna go out there and score. If they need me to play, defense is an every single day thing. If they need me to do that, I'm gonna do it. You need a rebound, like guard the best player. I'm gonna do it every single day. So, whatever coaches need me to do, that's what I'm gonna end up doing.
How well do you know Isaiah Harwell?
I'm starting to know him a little well. I'm like better. I didn't really know him from the beginning. I mean, we don't really live near each other. We don't play on the same circuit or anything. But talk to him at the games. Been talking to him recently. Been talking to some of the recruits we're trying to get too. So we're in some group chats trying to work that out. But yes, sir.
How do you feel that's going with these other recruits?
I think we're really good. We're really good on one. I have a feeling he'll come here soon. I have a feeling.
Yeah, that one. I wonder who that could be.
He ain't got to say no names on there.
No names.
We ain't blowing up the spot, man. Don't blow up the spot.
No names.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I think maybe we know.
That's right.
So Kingston, I got a question for you. So what is it that you think that you do well now that'll make the transition to the next level easier for you?
I think
I'd start off with saying I can jump and touch the roof.
Oh, that's always a positive. That helps for sure. That helps for sure. I mean, the next level, everyone's athletic. Like,
not like that, brother.
I don't know. I've been to some D3 games. Like, there's some athletic people out there. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I think for me, I'm not really the biggest weight wise and all that. So I think that's gonna be the biggest thing I have to overcome when getting to the next level. But I think just me just competing all the time. So I feel like even when I'm guarding someone a little bigger, just the will to compete, I think that would help a lot of ways. I think the game like basketball is really 80% mental. I feel like I mean, there's the skill guys, but some people are skilled and they get in their own head, and then all that skill goes out the window. So I feel like mentally just being there every single game and mentally being checked in, I think that's gonna help me a lot.
Let's go back to Isaiah. Break down his game for us. What do you know about him? What have you seen?
Isaiah just does everything well. Like he can guard 1 through 4. He can shoot, dribble. I know he had a devastating injury last year. He's still come back from that. But when he comes back, he can do the same thing. He can dribble, he can shoot. He really does everything well on the course. I saw him at USA, I think, my first trial last year. Just the way he defends, he was getting to his pull-ups, he was killing. So it should be fun playing with him.
Do you know much about Bryce Jackson?
I don't know much about him yet.
Okay.
I know we're both from Texas. We'll probably play him. We might play him this weekend actually. So
Okay.
I'll see. So we got to watch film from my high school and all that. So I'll watch some of him for sure.
That's tough. That's tough.
And you've been on the floor with what's his name over here. How would you describe his game, and what was it like playing against him?
I remember, so we went to there was a JL3 kind of workout, and just I always feel like I'm quick. Even people I play against, I feel like I'm quick and fast. But just to see the difference of just the first step, and it's not only the first step of just running, It's when he gets the first step, they're immediately into your body. So I mean, like, I think we were playing full court ones, and first step he gets me, and he's in my body, and I'm already smaller, so he's bam, and he's by me. Like usually that's not it. So like just like in my mind, I'm thinking like, man, I still have so much farther to go, because just easy, like not even a move really, just in and out, one step in my body, and then he's getting downhill, finishing at the rim. So I mean, shoot, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
That was a crazy day.
Yeah.
That was a crazy day.
I'm looking forward to seeing you guys go head to head in the summer, and then watch Kingston have to run the gauntlet with you, and then Dejan, and then Jamal.
Dejan's tough. Dejan, man.
Deep tough. That's because I was watching Maul play last night against they played the Celtics, and obviously the refs robbed them. But I'm just like, man, who would like, brother? You were just probably guarding some dude from whatever college last year. Now you guarding Jalen Brown.
Yeah,
like
that's crazy.
Jason Tatum. Like, damn, brother, that is tough.
He just played Sass this past game.
Friday night.
Yeah, they played each other, and he's just having to go like man, that's crazy.
Crazy, bro. Crazy. Life hits you fast. Life.
Was Isaiah recruiting you? Was he on you trying to get you here?
Once he committed, he was. Yeah, once he committed, he was talking to me. Like immediately, he had my number. Coach Stan got us together. Yeah, he had my number, and he said, I mean, it's the move. So, I mean, after that, I mean, just seeing Isaiah commit, and then I already had like mentally like where Houston was on my scale, but seeing Isaiah there too. So I feel like I'm just trying to do the same thing for the next recruits. So.
Okay, and so you're actively recruiting these other people that we're not talking about by name.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, awesome.
You know, we got something going this year.
PG shit. That's PG shit right there, man.
Exactly.
That's what that is.
We got some special things brewing this year on the floor, but man, I hate to look forward, but I can't wait to see this.
It's going to be a long summer, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the summer's good. I'll say this. Usually when we get towards the end of the year, I start dreading it because I hate to see guys go and wondering about how the future's going to be. That ain't going to be a problem this year.
No.
Yeah, I'm ready for the summers and the practices. Like, I remember I went up for my official, and asked if I could work out. I worked out with E-Man and Milos. And, man, it was just fun working out with them. Just, like, seeing, like, the way they hit shots. Just working out with them like that. And in the summer, being able to play against them. And it's going to be fun from day one.
Yeah, you're going to think that on June 1st. Let's see how you feel June 15th.
Oh, man.
May not feel that way.
Those
Although,
first few days with Coach Bishop.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be one of the things that Kingston is he's gonna go from a boy to a man once he gets in with Bish. Backcourt of the future. This is the two of y'all. I believe it's the Jackson State game.
Yeah, Jackson. No, that's the Texas.
Damn,
game.
It's the exhibition. Well,
Yeah,
it's the way he's the way I am. I'm
just
taking
saying, but
the picture.
in general, like, how tall is Isaiah?
9 feet apparently.
The way it is, it did me bad because you know how the post a little elevated. I look so small on that picture. I look so small on that picture. My dad was saying something about it too, because like Isaiah was on the hardwood, so he looked so elevated.
And
but
he was on the ground.
Yeah.
That's great.
Look, I got to take my shot when I get it. So sorry about that. Didn't mean to make you look small. He's huge.
Right.
He's huge.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Dial it back. That was diabolical.
In terms, your relationship with the guys that are here now, who do you feel closest to have a bond with?
Talking about the guys already on the team?
Yeah.
I'd say E-Man and I'd say Big Sad. Big Sad. Yeah, I say Big Sad and E-Man. I mean, on the official, we had like kind of did like a I don't know. It wasn't a scavenger hunt. It was kind of a game. You know, we split into 4 teams. My team ended up winning, but Sad was on my team. I'm drawing a blank. What's his name? Shooter on Houston. Came from Baylor. Why am I forgetting his name? I don't know.
LJ.
LJ Cryer.
LJ was on our team. Yeah, we was killing. But yeah, I for sure say E-Man and said.
You just bonded with said?
Yeah, said's funny, man. We were doing
That's
Yeah,
a
he
cool
really
dude,
is.
man.
yeah, we were doing it's a game. I think it's called like there's a ticker in your hand and like takes you to like describe it. I don't know what it's called. You have to
Okay.
describe the word that is like on there, and it was just man playing with said. It was funny, just the way he's describing things. Yeah, said's
It's
cool.
like taboo, damn near.
Yeah.
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 That's what it sounds
I
like.
would make friends with said just for the protection.
Facts, protection.
Man, said
Hey,
is
bro.
huge pause, but yeah, but man,
That's awesome. Galen,
Oh.
do you have any more?
I'd say, man, this is what Coach Sam asked me. How does it feel to be a Coug, man?
it's just I feel like when you start the recruiting process, it's always fun, but getting down to the end, I wouldn't say it's like it's stressful, but getting it off my chest and knowing where I'm gonna be, not having to really like hide anything from my friends, my like people. Like I'm just
Yeah.
when I'm walking out, like, after every game, like I just played this last weekend in a tournament, and after I could just say, go
We
Cougs,
heard.
Cougs and
Yeah.
everything. So
Yeah.
it feels good. It feels good.
That's so funny how you said that because I remember like getting recruited is fun, and then they just start calling you at the most
Yeah, like you're
inconvenient
in
times.
school. You're in
Yeah,
school. Like
man.
yeah, there was one school that would call me like 2 a.m. every day.
Ooh.
I had to tell them. Because they would call it's every day, like 2 a.m. every single day. I don't know why.
West
That's
Coast, what
nuts.
it sound like? Probably
Yeah.
Hawaii, damn near. But I also what I wanted to ask you is, at any point, like, I don't want to. I remember when I was getting recruited, I like broke out and I got acne. Like that's the first time ever, and after I signed, it literally just went away. So, like, at any point, was it ever stressful for you?
I feel like you don't
All right, here
like
you go, man. Here you go.
Yeah. There's Galen.
you don't realize like it's stressful really, but like after I committed, it felt like something just like
Off
lifted
your
off my
shoulders.
back, off my shoulders. Yeah, like it's like man, it's over. Like not
It's
not even
over.
over,
It's
but
over.
like I'm going.
It's over.
Like I know where I'm going. Like I don't have to, and I can just focus on ball. Like I don't gotta focus on, like I still text Samp and my Seahawks won today and the Pistons won today, so I'm happy. But so I texted him on that. But it's over. I can just work on hooping and that's it.
You signed, I guess Thursday, late Thursday, and so the calls, the text, they all kind of basically went away, huh? No more
Yeah.
pressure there.
So I cut my list down to two. So it's really just Tech and Houston. Like from the last. That's like because before you cut it down, everyone will text you like.
Right.
Just to everyone, like at inconvenient times, anything. So I cut it down to two. So like my last few weeks weren't really that stressful. It was just two schools, but after I got out of them, it's just Houston really. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
People are excited to see. Welcome to Houston. Looks like a Coug.
Absolutely.
It's in the blood.
I think you're gonna find yourself
Fan favorite for sure.
going pretty well.
For sure.
So you're gonna graduate in the spring and then come here in June. Is that the plan?
yes, sir. I think like so say I think McDonald's and all that. If I make McDonald's, I think Coach Samp had like a schedule. But I come down on weekends and I think work out with the team. But
Okay.
as soon as I can, I'm gonna be down there for sure.
Awesome.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Well, Kingston, we appreciate it. This was really good. And it's
thank
cool to see fans get to know you a little bit. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. That's Kingston
Thank you.
Flemings, your point guard of the future.
All right,
Appreciate
big
you
dog.
being here.
All right.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Have a good
sir.
one.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's reset. Galen in the house. Towns is here.
That's hard. That's
I'm at
tough.
Hobby Airport.
I'm about to
because I
ask you,
just-
like, where the hell you at?
I'm
It kind of slipped my mind, but I mean, you
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
verify.
he was here on time, and we're so unused to that
Ryan thinks he's so cool. He got a hobby airport background.
background. Yeah. It's just, yeah. No, I stayed in Arizona after the football game, played golf, hung out, sports book, had a great time. And then we flew in, and our flight got in at 7:25 and ran over here, grab my golf clubs and everything.
One thing I want to say about Kingston is that kid, he was talking about competing. He is really a competitor. I'm talking about, like, we were playing full court ones, and he was like actually like competing, like doing whatever he could to get a stop, and I respect that. So it was like when he was talking about looking forward to practice, this and that, he probably is, because he was damn near trying to fight me. Like he was that locked in, and he was that like.
And I remember the first thing you told us about him last year is that
real dog.
You're like,
real
whoa,
dog,
whoa, young
sure.
fella, you got to slow down a little bit.
Yeah. It was like, all right, bro. Yeah, you're in high school, like it. But I remember, like, after I like sat down, I remember he jumped. Like they were playing. He was with another kid. He just signed to Duke. Shelton Henderson from Bel Air.
Yep.
It had all the JL3 guys, and he had jumped to block something, and like Ryan, I kid you not, his like neck was at the rim, and that's when I was like, oh my God. Hit up Coach Kell, like, hey, Coach Kell, he was like, yeah, we know him. I'm like, shit, it's good. I'm glad. Like, nah, his athleticism is like Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose-esque. It is that high level, for sure.
All right, there you go.
His mixtape, his athleticism just looks off the charts.
Yeah. It doesn't even look real because he has a baby face. It don't even look like he should have.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy, for sure. Shout out Gwen, man. Shout out Gwen.
Welcome back, Gwen.
Shout out Gwen. I need to get Gwen some gear. I need to get Gwen. We need to find out what size she wearing, so we can get her laced for sure.
Gwen, contact Galen on social media and just make it happen.
Just make it happen, Gwen. I'll get you right, baby. I'll get you right for sure. For sure.
So we were not going to talk about recruits with him. That's a little gray area for me. So I don't want to talk about specific names, but things are looking pretty good for Chris Cenac, the center. Number one center in the country. I am not willing to say it's a done deal, but looking pretty good now. Galen plays for the YMCA. It's a pretty good YMCA team.
Yeah, it's a good one.
No, he's with the Birmingham squadron of the G League.
Every time I think of saying Birmingham's name, I always want to call them the Barons after their baseball.
Barons, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's team.
We had like a jersey dedicated to them last year, like the Triple B. We took a like a little tour to the Barons field and everything. Like it was actually pretty cool, man. There's a lot of history for sure.
Do they still have the old timey field?
No, they do, but they remodeled everything else. Like they kind of revamped the place. Like they kept the same locker room, but they just kind of put some newer stuff in there. But they, like last year we went to go see it, they showed us everything. Like it was pretty cool, man. Definitely cool.
Yeah, it was cool when I was down there back in the 90s. And was able to see it.
Probably
all
its
old timey glory.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, that was a time capsule.
Realistic career for. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna see him on senior night.
So, realistically, he's going to play high school for another year. And then he's going to come here, and you're probably not going to see him on senior night. But I don't know if it's going to be a one and done, because there's going to be some competition here. He's going to have to find his way into that starting lineup. And then, as Jamal knows, as Galen knows, as everybody that's been here, it's not a linear success model here. You've got to get beaten down. You've got to surrender. They got to break you and then build you up.
Think about it.
He just has different gifts than whatever guards Coach Sampson has had at Houston. The gifts that he has prior to Coach Sampson getting to him, unlike anything any of us have had. He is like that. He is most definitely a special player. Definitely.
Yep.
I know a lot. And this goes around the entire country. every time someone gets a really, really high rated recruit, they're always anticipated one and done, one and done, one and done. Yeah, you can be, but it depends on the player. I mean, depends on what the player's goal is. Do you want to be a second round pick? Do you want to be low first round, or do you want to be lotto?
Yeah.
You want to get that big money. So, and some of them are going to be lottery picks. Some of them aren't.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a one and done guy for certain, but I don't see him having a senior night.
You don't think he's going to redshirt and stick around for 5 years? No. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
He's got to get bigger. You know, I mean, it's not an NBA body right now, but
that's gonna happen.
He's in high school.
I think Ja Morant weighs 173, 74 pounds. And him and Ja Morant have very similar athletic abilities. They're like some dudes, they just don't need weight. They just need a great core. Like, might need to put on a little couple pounds here, but it's just some guys don't need that.
When you're going to get, I think the biggest thing he's going to get is the diet.
Yes.
The diet to keep him fueled, and then he could put on easily 10 pounds, and he'll still look the same.
Composition, yeah. No, Bish is gone. I've never forget when Bish got hired. I remember I lost 10 pounds like the first 2 weeks, just because of what he was feeding us and the stuff that he had ordered us, and how we were like training. And then he kind of, once he got me down to like that base weight that was the most I could lose, he kind of built on top of that. So like Bish is for sure, he is one of the best in the business, if not the best.
Okay, step back. Star Pizza, been in business almost 50 years. Since 1976, they're family owned. 3 locations in the Houston area, in Katy, at Harvard in Washington. Galen is writing really hard. He is. You can hear that pen.
Oh yeah. You about to see what I wrote.
And there
Star
you go.
motherfucking pizza. Take your ass a Star motherfucking pizza.
Okay, that's got to be the next shirt.
Put that back up. Put that
that's
back
got to
up.
be a shirt.
Star Pizza. Take your ass there. Make your day better.
Take your ass.
Take your ass there.
Take your ass to Star Pizza.
I did yesterday.
Pizza, I'm sure, Tom. Say your ass to Star Pizza, get you a goddamn pepper. I did. Man.
I had that chef special yesterday. Holy moly! And that's the first pizza I've had in a good
8 weeks.
Since I was in a hospital.
Yeah.
But man, it was phenomenal. Holy moly!
All right, Galen, are you going to stick around for Jeremy?
I'm about to tap into this TV show.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness!
Y'all boys be great.
Left
TV
my
show.
My compadres. Y'all be easy, man. I'll holler at y'all.
All right. Thank you, Galen. We appreciate it.
Hey, Jeremy, I like that gear you got on, man.
Yeah, but you're leaving me for a TV show.
Hey,
yeah,
man,
that's
it's
pathetic.
Not personal. It's just business. All right, y'all.
All right. Galen Robinson. I love that guy.
Man, I could say a lot of stuff, but I'll just say that for off air.
Yeah. So, Jeremy Branham, I walked down the stairs. Yeah, welcome. Whatever. I walked down the stairs last week against Jackson State, and I looked across and saw Radio Row, and I see you sitting there. And to your right is the guy that played in the Final Four in his junior and senior years. And sitting to your left is a guy that played in the Final Four his freshman, sophomore, and junior years. Elvin, Reed Geddes, you. Between the three of you, you have 5 Final Fours. That's not bad.
That's what I tell everybody too. They're like, "Are you a good athlete?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, you look at the scores table, or you look at Media Row, like you mentioned, and there's a lot of Final Fours there. So what does that say about my athletic prowess?"
It would be on my LinkedIn if I were you. Like, it would just put it right out there for everybody to see. Thank you so much for being here. We have to do this to start, and so we're just going to start it and get it out of the way. Football. In your role, do you prep a lot for football games?
I do. I like to know what's going on with the other team. If there are, like, I mean, you keep up with your team throughout the year.
Right.
You do far more prep work on a game week for the other team than you do your team. I know, I'm not going to say I know everything, but I know I'm way more familiar with our team than I am Arizona, for instance. So most of my game week prep is about the opposition, key players, key stories, who are some of the pro prospects to look after. Is there anything in the news that I need to know? So yeah, it's a good amount, but I enjoy it. And I kind of try to keep up on it every day too. So it's not something that I'm doing all at once or suddenly on a Friday that I'm trying to cram all this stuff. I kind of do it throughout the week.
Okay. In your opinion, and in your role, what is the biggest value in a sideline reporter?
Well, mostly my good looks. I would start there.
It's very helpful for radio.
No, what I get asked that a lot, actually. To me, it's to be the
sorry.
No, to me, it's to be the eyes on the field. I think that you have to, difference. If you're going to have one, I think that you need to provide a perspective that the guys in the booth don't have. So injuries are obviously one of them. What happened? What is happening? What are they doing? Did they sneak in the locker room? Are they up in the cart? So it's just a different perspective of that. And then obviously, I think that the coach interview at halftime and postgame are probably the most important reasons that I'm there. So, getting Willie, coming off, which he likes to get in the tunnel quickly. So I have to try to catch him around midfield because he's walking off. And if I get in that tunnel, I lose service. So I got to get to him pretty quick. But those two things, mostly the different perspective and having eyes on the field and, different set of eyes that the play-by-play guy and the color guy can't see.
I don't know. With listening to Chuck Brown back in the day, I thought it was to, hear about the hot dogs and whatever random story he comes up with, which was usually the most entertaining thing back in those days.
I know. I love Chuck. Every time I see Chuck, he comes and gives me a big handshake, a big hug, salt of the earth. I love Chuck Brown.
Yeah,
good guy.
Yeah, he is the best.
What is the difference from your point of view in a guy like Dana and a guy like Willie, especially in those interview situations, halftime and after?
They're both pretty honest. You would think that there'd be a lot of differences, and maybe one has more of a filter than the other. But they're both pretty brutally honest with their team and how they're performing. They might have, their language and their vernacular might be a little bit different at times. Right. Willie Fritz isn't going to say that, his team sucks in the first half or he can't coach that bad word. But they're both pretty honest. I mean, Willie will give you a straightforward answer. Arizona, they didn't have their best first half. We got to take care of the ball. We got to play better. And it was pretty similar to something Dana would say. So I find that both of them are super transparent. Like I think that they're a lot more in terms of their halftime and post-game interviews. I would say that they have more in common than you would think.
Okay. What is your assessment of this football team through 10 games?
I'm a homer, but I think it's been a pretty good year.
Okay.
I don't think that this is going to be the best roster Willie Fritz ever has at the University of Houston.
Right.
I think that it will improve, not to knock the guys on this team because they're busting their butts.
Right, but collectively.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be the best roster Willie Fritz ever has at the University of Houston. I think that's pretty obvious. And I think that look how many wins they got. I mean, look how many Big 12 wins they have. Look how the defense is performing. I think they're doing a really good job with what they have. And if you look at some of the outside stuff, which I know y'all do, the recruiting classes look like they're trending up. I think that there's more buzz in the program. I'm pretty happy with the way things are going. I think that Willie Fritz and his staff, you can see that they're coaching their tails off. I think that you can tell that. I think it's pretty tangible.
Yeah. I think they're squeezing every ounce of talent they have out of this roster. And from a coach, as a fan, the only thing I can ask my coach to do is to maximize the talent. And so, I mean, it's as disappointing as Friday was. It was only disappointing because we thought we could actually win that. We thought we could possibly get that road win and be right there, potentially heading to a bowl game. But, being realistic, we are where we probably should be.
Yeah, I don't know if I went into the year, expecting bowl. And I get asked that. What do you think is a successful year? Which is always a very relative question, right? I mean, it depends. I go on the some of these serious shows and Big 12 roundup shows, which I love to do. But the start of the year, what do you expect of this team? I just want to see them improve. I want to see that they're better by the end of the year than they are at the start of the year. Because to me, that's how you show that you're on this upward trajectory. I know that when Willie, got the job, people would look at the Samson parallel, which I don't know if that's fair, but they would look at the Samson parallel. Hey, 13 wins in his first season. And then, step by step, you get to where, you're one of the best programs in the entire country. But that first year, how did we look at the Samson year and define success? What wins?
Yeah.
Which maybe, I don't even think wins are always the best way to define success. I think it goes to what Brad says. If you're squeezing the most out of your talent versus getting 50% out of your talent, is the guy that's getting 50% out of his talent that won 8 games better than the coach who won 7 games getting the most out of his talent? So I don't know if wins are always the best way to determine if a coach is doing a really good job in a single season. So I think we've gotten way better. I think if you watch game 1 against UNLV and even some of the Arizona game, I think it's a way better team.
Yeah. I mean, they moved the ball pretty well against Arizona. You just couldn't capitalize on what you were able to do. If you had to tell me an MVP of this team so far, who would you say?
That's a good question. I hadn't really put a whole lot of thought in that. I think you would have to go defensive side of the ball because the defensive side of the ball has been better than the offensive side of the ball. Call a spade a spade. So who would be the most valuable defensive player? Who is the guy that when he is off the field, it's almost irreplaceable? I think AJ Hawsey's been really good.
Yeah.
And I feel like whenever he's off the field, he's pretty tough to replace. Michael Batten would probably be in that conversation for me.
Yeah. I think those are the two.
The defensive line's kind of deep. So I think that you can – kind of get by if you have a guy that's down or, the rotation there has been pretty good. I would probably lean Hawsey, but Batten would be someone I would think long and hard about.
I think that's the right answer, to be honest. And I don't really ever think anybody has the right answer.
Well, those are the first two that popped in my head too. I was like, but the beauty of this defense, the thing I'm so impressed with it is the fact that there's really not one single standout, but they're all good together.
Yeah. And
that's honestly a shock to me based on the defense that we had last year, the losses that we had from that. I mean, this is a defense that we lost two best defensive linemen. Caldwell and Chidozie are both Caldwell starting at Oregon and Chidozie's at Colorado. How in the world is this defense having that much success? Losing that much. It's crazy.
I think it's coaching.
Yeah.
Because the collective unit is better than its parts, right? The sum, what is the old saying? The sum is better than its parts. I think it's right. Mm-hmm. But I think that whenever you have teams that do that, it's because that they're really well coached. And it's not talking to players. I think the players are very talented. But like you mentioned, Brad, I mean, the defense lost a couple of its best players, maybe its best 2 players. The corner from Texas Southern's escaping me too. He was pretty.
Isaiah Hamilton.
He was pretty integral to the defense last year. It's been fun to watch that defense. The defense gives me a lot of reason for optimism going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, enough football. Hoops. Did you do a lot of play-by-play before Houston?
All my play-by-play really is at Houston.
Okay.
I started doing play-by-play whenever I actually started doing play-by-play at Houston before I was ever enrolled as a student at Houston. I started to do high school games straight out of high school. Freshman year of college, I was doing high school games and ended up meeting a guy there by the name of Joshua Banks, who was doing women's basketball games at U of H.
Okay.
And he couldn't do a handful of road games. I want to say 2005. And he asked me, there was probably nobody else that was willing to do it. I said, yeah, I'll do it. So I did about 6 non-con road games that year. And then the next year they asked me to do the full season. And then I did women's basketball for 10 years or so. And then I started doing baseball and the coach's show. So no, all my 99.9% of my play-by-play experience is with the University of Houston.
Okay.
Awesome.
So that was Sancho Little was on that team.
She was
maybe
the first year
she graduate.
The year that I was referencing the 6 or 7 non-conference games, she had graduated the previous year.
Okay.
I think it was the 05-06 season.
Okay.
Could be off a year there, but I want to say it was 05-06. It was off of their NCAA tournament, their last one.
Yeah.
And then, it was kind of no rebuild.
Okay.
It was Ty Jackson's first year.
Yeah.
She wasn't eligible until the midterm too.
Right.
Yeah.
We did
Oh,
a
man.
women's basketball then. Was it play-by-play a dream of yours, or was it just broadcasting?
No, working in sports was probably the dream, to
Okay.
be honest. And it could have been in a variety of different, spectrums, but I wasn't good enough to play them. So how could I be into sports without being good enough to play them? So I kicked around, thing. I thought for a long time I'd be a high school coach. Then I kind of stumbled into this, and I was like, "Hey, this is something that I enjoy doing. I can be in the arena," which to me is the best part.
Yeah.
It's one thing to talk about the sports, but to be there in the arena, to be at the Peach Bowl, to be in the Final Four, to be in an Elite Eight game, be in the arena. To me, those are the best feelings. That gives me goosebumps. So how can I do that? And what's my avenue to do that? So I kind of reverse engineered it. How can I get to those without being a coach, obviously not being a player? Okay, what else can I do? Stumbled on the play-by-play thing young, whenever I was very young. So it gave me time to kind of, work in my craft. And yeah, that's kind of how I started doing it.
Okay. How much time do you spend prepping for a basketball game? Is it different than football time-wise?
I don't know. I don't know the exact number because, again, I kind of do it sporadically. I'm kind of a sicko. Like I DVR every Big 12 basketball game that's on TV, and we'll watch it at some point. Not necessarily live, but almost never live. It's almost never live. It's usually when the wife goes to sleep. I have it on mute and watch it at 1 a.m. in the morning. But again, it goes to the same thing with football. I spend way more time prepping the opposition than I do Houston.
Right.
Updating when I'm prepping Houston's more updating stats, updating career highs. Did they have a career high in rebounds the last game? Do I need to edit my notes there? A few nuggets about the series history, stuff like that. The opposition's the one that's probably the most demanding. I would say a few hours, just a very ballpark number. You want to learn the players. What is their story? Do they have an interesting relative? What about the coaching staff? Is there a connection? It's always easier the second time you play a Big 12 opponent.
Sure.
It's pretty easy at that point. That's more updating information. But yeah, I would say a few hours probably.
Okay.
Not all at once though.
Do you have a guy in the program that you hang out with on the road that's like, this is my guy, this is the guy I want to hang out with?
Everybody's pretty close knit, and no one really, everybody's kind of in the bubble. You eat the meals in the hotel. You're traveling with the team. You're not even in an airport.
No.
I would say the person that I spend the most time with, just having meals with and stuff like that. Probably Jeff Conrad.
Oh.
I'd say Jeff's probably.
Okay.
Yeah, probably Jeff. I hang out with Alan Bishop a little bit, just whenever I feel like I need a little bit of added security. I like to have him on my side. If I'm walking down the streets, hey, Bish, you want to come with me? I need to go get a soda.
Yeah.
So
Conrad's not helping. So
you don't want any
Bishop.
interesting Conrad stories? He's got tons of books.
Take one.
Yeah, he's got a library.
Tons of books.
He's got a library in his house. Yeah,
That's did not know that.
One of the smartest people I know, actually. I mean, Jeff.
He could be good though. If you're getting chased, you just trip him and then let them grab him.
It's like
That could be.
whenever you're being chased by a bear, you don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the person you're with.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's not a bad idea.
Exactly.
So most of the guys that do college play-by-play, that turns into their life. You're in a college town, and it's all about that college. But you don't have that. You have to know everything. Texans, NFL, Rockets, Astros.
Yeah.
What is that situation like of just having to have all of that and then doing play-by-play and on field?
Counting down the days to retirement to where I could focus just on the University of Houston. That's what that looks like. That's ultimately where it's probably years down the road, but yeah, it's just a lot of work, really. I mean, you just got to work. It's not hard. Like
Right.
people ask, how do you have the skill to do it? Anybody could do this. It's a very easy learned skill. It really is. And in terms of like talk show and stuff like that, again, That's just being prepared. That's just keeping up with it, which can be taxing. I mean, it's not for everybody. It can be taxing, and then having a family on top of that. But I have a real good wife, a great wife, so we have a good, strong foundation, and then just work a lot. Traveling is probably where I get a little tired from time to time. There are a lot of times where I'm traveling either before a show, which is first flight out of town, and getting to the hotel, doing my show from wherever we're at. And then, getting ready for a game on top of that, or it's traveling late night. I've been trying to do the mornings more recently. I find that to be a little bit easier for me. But yeah, I mean, it's a grind, but it's fun. I'm not lifting logs. It's a blessing. I'm calling Houston sports, which I grew up loving. U of H. I'm working sports talk in the city of Houston, which I don't know if I could do it anywhere else. I think I would only do it in Houston, but yeah, it's fun.
Why is that?
Well, born and raised in Houston. I never dreamed about doing sports talk.
Right.
Once I got into the radio to the radio business, for me, it's always been play-by-play is the thing that I love the most. And I think it goes back to being in the arena thing. I get the goosebumps there. You're in a studio with a bunch of dudes. You're not really getting the goosebump feeling. It's fun. I love doing it. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of getting that high or that, just that buzz and feeling off, feeding off the vibes, being in the arena is the best thing to me. That's what I love.
Yeah. I mean, that's I travel everywhere because I love that piece of it that if you're watching on TV, you don't get.
Yeah.
And I like to be in the arena hours before so I can soak up everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's but I mean, that's just the thing for me. It turns into a 12 or 14-hour day to cover one game, but it's worth it. It's just so much more fun and interesting.
Yeah, it's to me, that's the best sound feeling in sport. And, I love playing home games. Fertitta Center is great. The best sound in sports to me is silencing a road crowd. There's nothing like that. And of course I have nothing to do with it. But there's just not a better feeling than that. You go into wherever you're going into and they have 12,000 people that are calling you all sorts of things. And all of a sudden they're dead silent. Like that's a feeling.
And you may never have a better year of that than you just did doing it at BYU and OU and Baylor and Texas. And I mean,
especially the way it was done too.
Yeah. You kind of walked off a lot of people last year on the road.
It was a fun one too. You're right. I mean, last year there was a ton of amazing ones. What was one that really stands out too was the 2014 Baton Rouge Regional when Houston
came back in the 8th inning.
Yeah, the big 8th inning.
On Sunday, you late in that game, and then that Monday, I remember very well.
Yeah, that was probably the first one, the first big one. And then, Alex Box Stadium, nuts, especially for a Game 7 on Monday night. And then to silence them. I mean, it was, they were juiced up a little bit. They were sauced up. It was a Monday night in Baton Rouge. They were ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime you do that in Baton Rouge, it's rare. So it makes it even more special.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. You're making me do it, Brad. You're making me do it.
What?
Here we go. Walk 9 batters in 3 innings at LSU. Brad Towns.
You had that ready. You had that.
Oh, we use it virtually every show we do.
That's my baseball claim to fame.
Oh, Ryan was ready to go with that too.
Yeah, and it could have been 12, but guys swung at things.
Did the play get wider in the inning? Umpire started to feel a little bad.
It was a marshmallow.
No. Eventually, I got people to hit the ball at somebody, and mercifully, I was pulled in between innings. I just felt bad for the guy coming in after me.
Clean slate. So, all right, Jeremy, we appreciate this. This was fun. We're going to do it again, hopefully soon, if you'll do it. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Enjoyed it, thank you.
Happy to do it whenever you guys feel the need to fill a few minutes and you can't find anybody else.
Yeah, well, we nearly bumped you for just an hour of Kingston.
I wouldn't have blamed you. I would have bumped myself for an hour of Kingston.
Yeah. It was fun. All right. Good. Thank you, Jeremy.
You got it. You guys have a good night. I'll
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir. It's Jeremy Branham.
Awesome.
Those were 2 fun guests. That was fun. From
Man,
Hobby
see,
Airport.
we're starting the week good. We put an end to the kind of disaster. It was nice. It was really nice to have Saturday off and be able to watch all the stuff play out. How about BYU, huh?
Yeah, that was we stayed at the sports book to finish that one off. My main screen was Louisiana Lafayette and South Alabama, to be honest.
I figure you were
was
pretty
watching
juiced to watch that one.
major. I was shocked. And he tried to choke it off. He tried,
Yeah.
but it just wasn't bad enough to do it.
But see, BYU, that game
We'll get back to him.
that shows how thin it is to be able to win, because you got a game that's right there in your hands, and then some crazy stuff happens, and
So that was BYU's first loss of the year, right? They're 9-1, I think.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I get up this morning and my For You page on X is BYU fans saying we need to fire the offensive coordinator. Now, having dealt with that in my mentions for 11 weeks, it's nice to see somebody with 9 wins having to deal with that same thing.
Yes, exactly. The thing that I saw is I saw a number of different reporters saying, "Oh, BYU, they're completely out of the playoffs now." It's like, what?
That's not how this works.
What? Hold on, what?
That's not how it works.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. So, anyways, Yanez, be thankful for recommending me to Fred Fowler for Gallery Sports. Got to live a childhood dream because of him.
That's awesome.
You had something to do with that, Andy. You are above average, and now coaching basketball himself. We got a little mixed up on this. We ended up at a pretty cool sports bar. It kind of had everything. I had a burger. It was okay. Steak last night.
Did you have a regular
good.
burger, or is the smash burger thing still spreading everywhere?
I had a smash burger last week in Houston. I don't remember what it was called. Burger Bodega. It's on Washington. Okay. It was fine. I was sitting there and this guy was sitting across from me most of the night, and the rug on this dude's head.
That is the coolest hair helmet I've seen in a while.
It moved a few times. Like I thought it was going to walk off. But fun night. I didn't do much gambling. I kind of surprised myself, but I'm going to Vegas in 9 days. So we're going to not go so much at a small little casino and we'll go big in Vegas.
You know how to, all you got to do is hit early.
Yeah. All you have to do.
That's it. You can take the casino to the limit.
Missed that one. Really missed that one. Missed this one too. That's good. Those are good questions, guys. But it's hard for me, because I'm not so smart. It's hard to go from comment to paying attention to them to getting my questions right. We'll get better at it. We're not there, but this is fun, and this was awesome tonight. I really appreciated. Kingston was better than I thought. He has not done a lot of interviews. He has.
I couldn't tell. I mean,
he felt like he was right in it.
Feels like a natural.
And we warned guys. This is very low key. This is chill. This is not a regular interview. Let's have fun.
Right.
And we have gotten great response from athletes on that. And they've never really had that. And so I'm glad we get to offer a little different situation. Big thank you to Jonathan Laredo that has done so much for us. He was a manager on the basketball team for a year. He was the head manager, and that guy was everywhere. Now he's a grad assistant. Him and Ryan Elvin, the grad assistants, and he's been a big help. He works the operations for recruiting, so when they have guys in, he's helping out and doing a lot with that. And just really appreciate him and thank him so much for helping us out. Really do appreciate all of his help. Thought that was a picture of Towns at first. I mean, it's not far off.
Hey, I'm probably not gonna go. I'm probably not gonna go bald, and if I do, I'm not gonna wear a rug.
That. I like that attitude. I will wear a rug, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be big, and
it'll
bushy.
just be your teenage mullet haircut.
Well, if I go to that, it's. He didn't really know my name there for a few years.
Monceaux,
yeah. But we got that sorted out last year. And I saw him last week at practice, and he said, "Hey, what's up, Ryan?" I was like, wow. I mean, we carried over to another year. So he's never, I make sure, though, I don't ask questions off the cuff to him, because that's how you get in trouble. If you haven't processed this and put it down on paper and refined it, you don't ask it to him.
Yeah,
you gotta
role play those questions.
Yep. It's not a off the cuff, hey, what's going on? Because there are certain people that do that, and they ask a 45-second question. And the longer the question is, the shorter the answer is going to be with him. And when you ask that 45-second question, the answer is going to be no. And you just have to know that. Mm-hmm. So that's my advice for anybody wanting to do this. Know what you're going to ask. Just be smart about it. Don't be an idiot.
And
really
by the way,
nice crowd.
That's the same talk I get from Ryan before we do every one of these shows.
100%. Have your questions thought out and prepared. Don't be going off the cuff, because it just doesn't look good. When you're live, there's no editing that out. And we're going to make mistakes and be dumb, but let's be smart about it. And
be smart dumb.
Tonight was pretty good, I think.
Yeah, man. I really feel that Kingston's just got a lot of really good energy. That guys like that usually translates to the court.
Yeah. I have asked, I believe, every point guard that's been here under Kelvin, what's the thing that sets you apart? And they have all said the very first thing, competitiveness. I'm a competitor. And that's the first thing Kelvin looks for. Like, he wants to see everybody plays and wants to win. But how he defines competitiveness, that's how you start scratching those guys off that list. Mm-hmm. And like this year, you had about 6 4 5-star guys that were kind of in the mix at the end. And now you have to deal with NIL. You have to deal with where do they fit best. But it's that competitive thing. It's a really big thing for him.
Our recruiting profile has moved up, but the standards remain the
baseline is the exact same. Yeah. All right. Star Pizza, go get you some. Galen, we're going to probably use that photo of him in his little drawing.
We're
going to figure that out. I'm going to go to Star. I went and had a pretty good pizza today in Tucson called Trident Pizza. Pretty good. It was the coal-fired oven.
Okay.
Big fire.
More along the Portnoy style.
It's kind of a West Coast thing to me. Denver, Phoenix, and then go to California. You get that big fire. And it was pretty damn good. Really good pizza. But I'm going to start pizza this week and getting my stuff back on. We start. We've got surgery on Friday with Mom. Basketball Friday night.
Oh.
Football Saturday night.
Getting the arm surgery.
Yeah, she's rotator cuff. They found an old injury from when she played softball, I believe.
Throwing the shoe at you.
Yeah, well, she's left-handed, and so she fell on her left arm, and so
getting whacked with the chancla.
Yeah, she is. She's probably announcing her athletic retirement soon. So,
yeah, it comes for us all.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that, and then talking about Friday or Sunday night, and then flying to Vegas and there for 5 days, and then going to Salt Lake, and after Salt Lake, get back, do a talking about, and then can breathe a little bit. But
have you found, or are y'all doing like Thanksgiving thing there?
I might, Branham and I might be at the Crazy Horse. You never know. Probably not, but
it's a different.
Probably not.
I'm not going to say it.
Yeah,
it's Sunday. It's a Sunday. I can't say that.
Duarte will be there. Some of the guys at basketball will be there. I might just have Juwan go and we do a impromptu podcast together. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Alabama lost this weekend. Well, it's when I'm looking at you at your left, but whatever.
It's the whichever one I'm seeing.
So there you go. All right. GoCoogs.com. We're going to be at football practice in the morning. I think we're going to be inside.
It was raining nice. It's going to get cold this week.
Okay. It was 40 degrees this morning in Tucson.
Oh,
there is no way to prepare for that. It's been like 80. And then Friday night it got cold. Yesterday it was warm. And then this morning it was like, oh, thank you. Not for me. But you might get a comfortable football game Saturday night. So, all right. Thanks so much for everything. We appreciate y'all tuning in with us. I'm glad my flight was on time. Shout out Southwest in the first class. That worked out pretty well. So,
thank you for everybody for sharing your Sunday with us.
Really cool. And we're never going to forget that y'all are doing this with us. So thank you so much. And we'll see you again very soon.